All right, guys, NFL Week 14, let's get into it. I'm going to start with Philly at the LA Rams. Been waiting for this matchup for a real long time. Two young, strong, explosive, physical teams. This one's going to kick off at 4:25 Eastern at the Coliseum. And without any further ado, let's get into it. The Rams opened the betting in this one as the 1-point favorites. Total opened at 51.5. Now this one's got bet up to LA minus 2.5. Looks like they took the majority of the early money. We've also seen a little under money coming in, moving the total down to an even 51. Still a pretty high total with these two defenses. Right now the Rams are $1.30 to win it outright, and at the moment Philly's taking 56% of the public action. So look for them to lose half a point at some point if that trend continues. And speaking of trends, I've got plenty of them, and they're actually very impressive numbers in this matchup. Let's start with the Rams. Now, all numbers and records are against the spread, just for your knowledge there. But anyway, LA's 8-4 against the spread overall, 3-2 at the Coliseum, 6-3 laying the points. That's actually quite amazing that these guys have been favored for 9 games already this year. LA's also gone 3-2 covering as the home favorite, 3-1 covering against teams over 500, 3-1 covering in their last 4. But if you think all those numbers are impressive, you got to hear ththese Philly numbers against the spread as well, because they've been awesome. The Eagles against the points are 9-3 overall, 4-2 when traveling, 2-1 as the dog. The Birds have also gone 2-0 covering in their games at the current posted total, 3-2 covering against teams over 500, and 3-1 against the spread in their last 4 themselves. These are the 2 hottest teams in the league. Can't wait to see how this one goes down. Now, on a side note, both teams scoring-wise have gone 3-1 to the under in their last 4. I'm a little gun-shy when it comes to making a play on picking sides in this one. Both teams are very good. The Eagles have been red hot, but they haven't beaten anybody, and the Rams are just right behind them as far as success. They have great wins over the Saints in Jacksonville. I don't know where I'm leaning. I think I'm going to have to make a play on the total, though. I really like this number here. I think the public money's in the right place. I'm also leaning toward Philly to cover in this one, but I'm not going to make a play or an official pick on it. But regardless, you heard enough from me. Let's go ahead and make a pick. All told, I like the under 51 total points in this one. Next game, Seattle, Jacksonville, 4:25 Eastern start, Everbank Field. Can't wait for this game. Both teams playing some really good football as of late, playing at a very high level, and you might be surprised as to who's actually favored in this one. Must be the books getting into the minds of the bettors, or at least trying to. But regardless, the Jacksonville Jags opened up the betting as the 3.5-point favorites in this one. Wow. The total also opened up at a very low 39 flat. I don't think that's going to be enough. But on the money line, Jacksonville is laying $1.50. They're 3-2 to win it outright. And at the moment, no surprises here. Seattle's taking 63% of the money. I'm not surprised there. And that's obviously why we saw that line move quickly down to an even 3 points. And I think the public bettors really like what they see when it comes to Seattle. They're 3-1 against the spread in their last 4. And they're starting to look like the Legion of Boom of old. Maybe not as dominant, but these guys are tough, and they also travel well. Seattle's 4-2 against the spread on the road. And finally, these guys cover against good teams. Seattle's 2-1 against the number versus teams over 500. They're taking on this Jaguars team who hasn't been all that good covering at home. They've actually covered just 2 of 5 games in the friendly confines. The Jags have also covered just 2 of 4 as the official home favorite. And they've kind of been mediocre against the number as of late. They actually failed to cover 2 of 3 games before last week's win against Indy. And on a side note, when it comes to the scoring, Seattle's scoring 26 points a game in their last 3. The Jags are scoring nearly 25 a game in their last 3 as well. I like a play on the spread and the total in this one. All said and done, I'm leaning towards Seattle plus the points with the over in this one. But I just remembered the Seahawks travel to the East Coast terribly. The guys just can't get it done east of the Mississippi. They've proven that this year. So I'm going to pass on this game, but I do think the numbers favor the Seahawks. That said, reality might just favor the Jags in this one. All right, next game. Baltimore, Pittsburgh. Can't wait for this one. We got a lot of great football this week. That's going to be our Sunday night primetime game. 8:30 Eastern kickoff at Heinz Ketchup Field. And to quote Big Ben, AFC North football, baby. AFC North football. Wow. How about it? What a brutal game between the Steelers and the Bengals last night. That's going to tenderize the meat a little bit. Hopefully for Steelers bettors, that extra time teeing it off at 8:30 at night will give them some extra rest to get the job done. And speaking of getting it done, it seems like the books are leaning toward Pittsburgh to get it done in a big way. The Steelers opened up laying 7.5 in this one. That's really a lot of points for an AFC North divisional game, especially the way the Ravens have been playing. I'm sure some of those Ravens are well aware of where they opened up at. But once again, the Steelers are the 7.5-point favorites in this Sunday night showdown in the Steel City. Let's go ahead and take a look at some numbers. The Steelers are just 5-6 ATS as the favorite, and they've covered just 6 of 12 overall. They've also struggled against the number as of late, going just 1-3 covering in their last 4. Now, make no mistake about it, these guys are red hot right now. They won a bunch of games consecutively, but sometimes I'm not looking at real life. I'm looking at the number, and so far against the number, kind of lackluster in certain areas. Now, when it comes to the number, Baltimore has been a very good covering team lately. Actually, the Ravens are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. They're also 7-5 against the spread overall, 4-2 covering on the road. They travel well, and 3-2 covering as the official Vegas underdog. Don't forget either, these guys play good teams well, and as a matter of fact, they've gone 3-2 against the spread versus teams over 500. And I think their most impressive stat is their record getting points on the road. They're 3-1 covering the spread as the official road underdog. Once again, this spread is way too high in my opinion for any game between these two organizations, regardless of record or what they've done earlier in the year. You can throw that stuff, all that stuff out the window. When Baltimore and Pittsburgh get together, this game is always just different. This one's a no-brainer for me. All told, I'm going to buy the hook and take Baltimore +8, getting the job done against the spread. All right, I'm going to slide on my next and final game for the show. I'm talking about New England at Miami. Seems like these guys just got together, and actually they did. New England playing Miami 2 out of 3 weeks at this part of their schedule. Kind of bizarre, but kind of cool as well. So anyway, the Patriots are still favored by a lot. The first time around, they were favored by 17 and covered in Foxborough. This one's not nearly as much, but the Pats still find themselves the double-digit favorites. New England opened the betting as the 12-point favorites and the total at 48.5. Since the markets opened this one up, lots of early action coming in on the Dolphins plus the points. They certainly haven't earned that action, but maybe the public money knows something I don't. Right now, New England's laying just 10.5 against the spread after those line moves, and that total moved downward quite significantly as well. It's now sitting at an even 47. And if you're a money line parlay guy, New England's 590 to win this one outright. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the trends. No surprises here. New England's good in real life and against the number. The Patriots against the spread are 8-4 overall, 8-4 laying the points, 1-0 against Miami this year. By the way, that just goes to show you how good New England really is. They've been favored in every single game this year. I mean, we're not talking about Alabama playing cupcakes every week being favored by 20 and 30 points. This is the NFL, so a very impressive fact there. Even more impressive is the Patriots on the road. New England's covering 83% of their games when traveling, and they're also 5-1 against the spread as the official road favorite. And most impressive, it's what these guys have done against the spread in their last 6 games. These guys just don't fail to cover. New England's 6-0 ATS in their last 6 matchups. 6-game winning streak against the spread in the NFL is absolutely absurd. You don't see it a lot. The bookies just can't bury them. All right, I'll tell you who buries themselves, and that's these Miami Dolphins. Now, depending on where you're shopping, these numbers could go either way. For my case against them, I actually have the Dolphins at 4-8 against the spread overall, 2-3 at home, 3-6 as the underdog. They're also just 1-3 covering the number in their last 4. No real need to pussyfoot around here. I think we're playing for a push, but most likely I still got to take action on the hottest team against the spread in professional football. All told, I'm going to buy it down and take the New England Patriots -10, getting the job done against the spread. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me. That was my second installment of NFL Week 14 picks. I got one more video coming out for you. I'll probably get that done tomorrow. It's actually going to be a mix of 1 o'clock slate games and some other late games. We actually have 7 late games this week, so we're going to have a smattering of 1 o'clock slate and late games in my next video as well. It will be titled 1 o'clock slate, though. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me. But before I get out of here, I have to remind you that I am not a sports betting expert, nor do I implore you to take any of my picks. A wise man once said, good ain't free, and free ain't good. If for some reason you decide to use the free information on this program, you're utilizing it at your own discretion. Most importantly, if you're betting any of these games, do it safe, do it responsibly, and most important, have fun. And good luck, too. For Brock Page Productions, I'm Brock Page, and have yourself a positive day.